Hello folks, I'm your host Commissioner Tom Anderson, and this is the first episode of Weekly Wiffs for the 2016 season. I'd like to welcome you all. Today I have a very special guest here with me, Brian Quittadamo. Thank you for joining me.
No problem, Tom.
And just welcome back everyone. It's going to be one hell of a year, and let's just get right into it with Across the League. Alright, welcome everyone. This is Across the League, and this is our fourth successful draft in the PWL in history of the league. And a lot of teams came away with totally different rosters than what they had last year. Totally, it shook a lot of things up, and this year is looking to be very interesting. And we're here to grade every team's draft, and topping the charts definitely has to be the Biscuits. And they totally swept the board. It seemed like they came away with a really solid team.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. The Biscuits, last year we were lacking in a couple aspects, and I think GM Nate Powers really noticed that and took advantage of that this year. They have a lot of good pitching talent and right-hander Matt Russell, who's been looking really good so far in scrimmages, and then they can come back with the lefty Ryan Fahey. And then they have a couple of good rookies with Colin Hines, CJ, and then Brett and Danny. We'll have to see how they do in their debut in the PWL, but I think overall the Biscuits basically filled all the spots where we were lacking last year, and they have a lot more depth this year. They have the most people on any roster across the league, and I think that will really benefit for them.
Absolutely, I agree. And like you said, this just totally built off of what they started last year. They had like a spark last year, and Powers definitely filled all those holes. But moving on to the second best team with the second best grade coming out of the draft, is definitely has to be the Rhinos. They formed like the same core as they did last year, which led them to a championship. So you can never go wrong there. But they added some pitching and some more depth. But they'll be decent again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're already very strong on the mound with the triple threat of Scully, Randall, and Kyle Nowakowski. Now adding a lefty with Gannon. I think now with Scully's availability being hit or miss with baseball, I think he'll have another arm to depend on to really drive that record over 500 this year.
The chemistry is definitely there in the Rhinos too, with Keyshawn, Nova, Nick Keogh, Coughlin, and Zach Randall. They're all a bunch of great kids too, but hopefully it translates into a positive play on the field. And moving on to the third best team with the third best grade anyways, and leaving the draft is the Warriors, led by Eric Lear. And they had first overall pick and a pick before the draft. Came away with Dylan D'Angelo, and any team with D'Angelo on it is definitely a force to be reckoned with. And like I said earlier, they essentially had two out of the first three unofficial picks in the draft. And after the draft, they made some moves, but their draft class was definitely probably the third best coming out of the draft. But now they got Weldon and D'Angelo on the same team. That'll definitely be crazy. The 2013 Rattlers are back.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely got they're a team that has a lot of strength in a lot of places, and not only do they have the strength, but they're dominant in these places, especially on the mound with D'Angelo and Weldon. And then you look back now, you have Ramos, you got Lear, you have four pretty dominant pitchers on the mound, and then all of them can hit too. So they're gonna be a team to be reckoned with. So watch out for them.
Absolutely. I mean, they don't really have a weak spot on that team, and I mean, looking at the roster, it's very hard to pinpoint a weakness. But definitely be a force to be reckoned with. And moving on to the fourth team.
You got the triple L at the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah. Starting off with the Big Bad Larrys, the fourth best draft class. And they came away with, that team's full of rookies, not much to say yet. They have a lot of potential though, the potential is there. And May 15th, we can put all these predictions aside and really see what they're made of. But yeah, moving on to the next L, we got the Old Men, aka the Lemurs. Their draft class was, I think the average age on their team is 25 years old. We did the math the night of, but I came away with rookie Scott Blackwood, known around Auburn, the man, the myth, the legend, John Anderson, and Bobby Kelly. And there's a lot of chemistry there, a lot of blood. a lot of connections. Just see if they can turn around and keep themselves healthy and last throughout the postseason.
Yeah, and I think, the whole thing with the Lemurs, Tom, is last year they would have been probably a top 3 or 4 team. This year, I think the league is so evenly spread out with talent that you guys are, in the position you are just because I think the teams are just so much better this year.
Yeah, absolutely. This, like I said earlier, this draft class was nuts. So much new talent coming in. Every team is essentially stacked. We got one team that seems to have all the odds stacked against them. That is the Llamas coming away with the worst draft class as we predicted. But they got Ryan Jeffries. There's a lot relying on him and if he's able to attend and his arm and what he brings to the table, which we don't really know yet. He has not shown up, so there's a lot of risk there. That's why they're at the bottom. But like I said, we had a lot of predictions, and opening day we'll just put all these aside. And coming off the draft day, GM Eric Lear came up with power rankings, and they're hard to argue with. I mean, we got the only thing that was surprising to me, Warriors were not number 1. I think he was just being.
That was a classy move, Eric. Everyone gave you a lot of crap for that. I'm going to congratulate you on that. That was a classy move. Way to be.
I agree, but everything else is the descriptions were well written and very accurate. Lemurs are at 5, Llamas at 6. Very similar to the draft class board actually, but. Way to make them, we probably put the Warriors at number 1 just because they
absolutely. I completely agree with Eric. I agree with your power rankings. Top 4, I think the top 4 is going to shuffle around a little bit, but I definitely go Warriors number 1. I think Larry's, Biscuits, and Rhinos are 3 pretty evenly matched up teams. I think the 3 of us are probably going to shuffle around a lot, and but I think we're the top 4 is going to all match up well, and then Lemurs and the Llamas are still in contention here. They're not saying they're not going to compete with the best of the best. I don't think it's going to be like a Cubs Warriors or Lemurs Biscuits blowouts like there were last year. So I think that everyone has the ability to compete, which is basically what we've trying to achieve here, and I think this year is really going to show.
This year definitely is. It's definitely like you can tell it's gonna be the best year already. I mean, we got sponsors now. Every team is legit looking like they can win it all. Like this is the first year like there's generally no front runner. Like it's hard to determine. I mean, all these predictions, like I said, we push aside as soon as we start playing. So, and opening day is right around the corner. 11 days from tonight, May 15th, 11:45. We first pitch. We'll do all the pre-game ceremonies as always at like 11:30. It's always a fun day. Hopefully it's nice out, but this weather has been shitty, so we'll try to get out there and do some scrimmages before. But also I want to touch on the Farm League. That's starting up Saturday after our opening day, and it's just going to be awesome to see. I mean, honestly, some of the kids in the Farm League could easily be on some of the 5th and 6th seeds rosters and be fine. But there's a lot of potential there, and it's definitely a good opportunity for all those kids. But yeah, I think it's about it. I mean, it's good to be back, and it's just a sign of things to come. And we'll definitely be talking to you guys soon. So have a great day.
Peace.
That was official, dude. I kept stuttering. I was pissing myself off.
As soon as we started, I was like, ah, shit, I still got the gun in my mouth.